It didn't go quite as smoothly as I was hoping it would go. The trouble that they had was at least one of the bolts for the exhaust manifold broke. The whole time they had my house. I got thirsty, I got hungry, I got tired, and there was nothing I can do about it because my house is my van. Well, those of us that are living the van life and living out of a vehicle have a little bit of a dilemma sometimes. Every now and then, we need to get our vehicle serviced, or like today, I have a big repair that needs to be done on the van, and that brings up two kind of important questions. One, who do you trust to fix your vehicle that is not only your vehicle, but is your home? And two, what do you do while you're waiting for the repairs to get done? Now, luckily today, I have a recall to take care of, so it is kind of a major service to get done. But I was able to plan ahead for it. So I am here in Eureka, California, and I am back at a dealership that I have worked with in the past. Hopefully I've made the right choice in coming here, but this is why I'm going to be documenting this today. So the first thing I got to do here today is go in and get checked in. I'm supposed to have an 8 o'clock appointment today, and the repair is supposed to last 2 hours. Now, I don't know exactly about that, so I'm anticipating it to last a little bit longer. So what I've done is I've got a backpack here with some snacks and all of the important things that I would have a hard time replacing go here in my backpack. I've also taken the opportunity to make a double batch of coffee so that I at least have something that I can sip on while I'm waiting for hopefully what will just be 2 hours here in the waiting room. Let's go in and see how this goes. It was nice that they got me checked in quickly, and I found my holding cell for the day here, and very happy that I had my coffee and my iPad so I can get a little bit of work done. But when I got tired of that, the dealership did provide some entertainment. Well, I am absolutely exhausted. I've been here a little over 7 hours, sitting in my little cage there. I did get up and walk around outside a bit, but yeah, I'm just waiting and waiting. Apparently they had some trouble. And, one thing's for sure, I did not bring enough coffee with me. I did not bring any water, which was a huge mistake. And I did not bring enough food with me. I had 2 little Lara bars that I had for a snack. That's it. Haven't had anything to eat. And I drank all of my coffee by 1 o'clock. So I need some food and I need some water, and water will do right now. And we'll take a look at that repair work that they did. So we have a brand new exhaust manifold and a brand new catalytic converter. And apparently the trouble that they had was at least one of the bolts for the exhaust manifold broke, and so they had to extract that bolt out. Not sure why that took so long. They did apologize for it taking a long time. Not much I can do about it. I am extremely tired right now because I didn't bring enough food with me. And also it was quite loud in the waiting area there. They had music playing the whole time, fairly loud, and they also had a political talk show going the whole time I was in there. Well, most of the time I was in there. And I am just kind of overstimulated. So I'm going to drive over to a park, and then I have a few thoughts that I want to share about this whole subject of living out of a vehicle and having to deal with breakdowns and repairs and all of that. So to regain a little bit of calm and peace, I have come here to Sequoia Park, which is one of the nicest parks you will ever find in a city, and this is right here in the middle of Eureka. A fantastically beautiful park here with all these redwood trees, as you can see around me. So this is much better than what I've been putting up with for the past 7 hours. So I do have some thoughts about how today went. It didn't go quite as smoothly as I was hoping it would go. I was hoping that I'd be in and out of there in 2 or 3 hours and be able to get a little work done and have time to take a little hike or walk around. And that didn't happen. And I guess it's a good thing to illustrate this. That this is one of the things that can happen to us, and the whole time they had my house. And I got thirsty, I got hungry, I got tired, and there was nothing I can do about it because my house is my van. So that's a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about very much, but it's absolutely one that is on my mind, especially as my van gets older. My van is going to be 8 years old next month, and I have just run over 90,000 miles on the van. Did that about 3 weeks ago. So it's getting some miles on it, and it's getting some age on it. And as it ages and as it wears, this is going to be more of an issue. Now, luckily, today went really good in the sense that I didn't have to pay for this repair. I got a new exhaust manifold and a new catalytic converter that were paid for by Chrysler under a recall warranty option there. So that's very good, especially because some of those studs broke, and all that time I would have been charged for them to extract those studs and to do an extra repair on top of what needed to be done. So there's a little bit of good and bad that happened today. So being that I was without my means of transportation and my home for a good portion of the day illustrates the fact that we always have to have a contingency plan in place for this inevitable event that's going to happen. Now, if this were going to be a bigger repair, I probably would have chose to take it to a different dealership, maybe a dealership near friends or family, just in case I needed to have a place to stay at night. My last option is always to get a hotel, something that I just don't do. I don't do hotels. I'm not comfortable in them. I'm not really comfortable staying at a friend or family member's house either, to be quite honest, but under the circumstances, I would do that over a hotel. Now, because this was going to be a fairly simple repair, I decided to bring the van back to a dealership that I have worked with in the past, and I felt a little bit more comfortable just handing over everything that I own to. This is the other point that I wanted to make, is that we as nomads, if we're constantly moving around, it can be difficult sometimes to find a mechanic that you trust. There are a few that I know in certain places, but this, of course, had to be done at a dealership because it was a recall, so a dealership had to do the repair. And so I opted to come back here to Humboldt to do it here because I've had some bad success with dealerships in different places. A dealership in San Diego tried to fleece me out of a $1,000 repair that didn't need to be done. They just made it up, and I opted not to get that repair done. I took a look at it and realized that they were being dishonest. I also had a really bad experience with a dealership in the Seattle area where back when the van was still under warranty, I was having some work done, and they claimed that I had somehow voided the warranty and that I was going to be liable for all the repair work to be done, and they told me it was going to be several $100s, and that I was going to have to pay that to get the van back. And I stood firm with them, and they eventually recanted that, and they went ahead and took care of it and put it through under warranty. It was a small repair that needed to be done at the time, but they never apologized for being wrong. And so when it comes to kind of bigger repairs like this one was, I went ahead and drove from Seattle when I got the notice for this recall. I drove about 600 miles back here to Humboldt to get to a mechanic that I just had a little bit more faith in. Now, I will admit here that I was not prepared as well as I could have been for this. I really should have had a hotel lined up. I should have had a better backpack. I didn't have enough food and water and coffee on me to keep me going all day, so I could have handled this a little bit better, and it's always a learning experience. Luckily, I've not had much trouble with this van. This van has been a very good, reliable vehicle for me. In fact, it's been one of the most reliable vehicles that I've ever had. I've had a few factory recalls, and then I did have a couple of ignition coils that needed to be replaced. Those were done back when the van was still under warranty. So I've been fairly fortunate so far with the van, but as the van is getting older, as I'm getting more miles on it, this is something to think about, that I'm going to need to have more relationships with mechanics around the areas that I plan on being, or maybe I need to be a little bit more static, be in an area that has a mechanic that I know and trust, and I can kind of alleviate that off of my mind. This whole process did kind of stress me out a little bit, and part of the reason is because the van has not been running very well. The van doesn't seem to run very well up steep grades. It does seem to be down on power, and it's not been great on gas mileage. So I'm hoping that this repair will solve the issues that I have been dealing with the last few months. I don't know if it will, and I only drove a few miles here, so I don't have an answer yet to that, but I may, like I've said, I may have more repairs to be done now, and this may be an ongoing issue. And that's the thing that you really have to get your mind wrapped around. If you do live in a vehicle, any little bit of a small repair that needs to be done can make you homeless, like I was for a few hours here today. So while today didn't go as well as I had hoped it would go, it actually turned out pretty good for me. I had a several $100 repair that got taken care of under warranty that Chrysler stepped up and decided to cover for us. So if you've got a ProMaster City, I would urge you to look into this. Might be something that you have to do yourself. Could be worse, could be Chrysler just let us out there on our own and had us just take care of this repair on our own, and so I'm happy about that. I'm also happy that I'm back here in Humboldt, because when I left Seattle, it was about 85 degrees, and when I got here in Eureka, it was 60 degrees. And so choosing to bring the van back to a mechanic that I felt more comfortable with was a blessing as well, in that it put me out of hot summer temperatures and into more temperatures where I feel better. Now the van also does seem to run better in cooler temperatures, and so that was part of my decision process. There was a whole lot of thought that went into where I was going to get the work done, and being that I feel better, the van works better, and I have a little bit of a relationship with this dealership in Eureka, I figured this would be the place to get it done. Now, time will tell if that's the right decision, if I made the correct decision, but I'm feeling good about it right now. But that is because we're in the middle of summer, and I'm wearing a sweater and a jacket, and I'm very happy to be in cooler temperatures. So hopefully I have not complained too much on this. I probably did, and you can probably understand that this is a little bit of a stressful situation, having to deal with repairs on a vehicle that you live in, but this is the reality of my life, and I'm sharing it in hopes of me learning something, and hopefully just passing on a little bit of what I'm going through. Hopefully you get something out of it too. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.